Hey. This is going to be a little different than my usual videos, but just real quick, yeah, I'm still working and doing well with that, and taking care of myself, and you know, doing the group therapy, and then I see my actual therapist like once a month, and um, been um, I got a possible diagnosis of neuropathy that might explain the somatic things that I've been experiencing since the beginning of last year. The things that led to me having, or were a part of what led to me having kind of manic episodes, and ultimately landing in the psych ward. We're doing some more testing and stuff, but yeah, at least my neurologist like did some EMG testing on my legs recently, and he saw some very abnormal results and was like, yeah, there's something physiologically going on with you. Your muscles and your nerves are acting weird. And so, it's very validating, because a part of me has just wondered if it's just been in my head. I mean, I know it's not, because like sometimes I have these twitches that are so strong, I can like visually see them like occurring, like the muscles like spasming on my legs and stuff. So, um, but I'm still not really sure. I don't really like. I don't know if that diagnosis of peripheral neuropathy is really like true or not, but because even the neurologist was like, it might be, but there's something weird going on, so we're going to try some different supplements and stuff, and maybe medications down the line to see how I respond to that. But yeah, either way, it's just good that you know that that I got a medical professional to be like, yes, there is definitely something physically going on with you that is not normal. Like, okay, I've been waiting to hear that for like almost a year and a half. um, but just what I wanted to talk about right now, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but um, was kind of a heartbreaking experience that I just had out at the grocery store. It's Saturday today, and I woke up and like I slept in a little late. I stayed in bed until like 7, which is pretty late for me, and just like had a nice slow morning, taking my time, like doing my usual routine of like hydrating and meds and yoga and tea, music. I did some self-care, and like skincare and stuff like that, and was just kind of, I don't know, feeling generally good. I was feeling like even good about myself, which doesn't really happen often, especially like with my appearance. Like I struggle with a lot of like, I guess, dysmorphia around things, and dysphoria. But I was like, I felt, I don't know, good. Or maybe I even felt kind of like pretty or something, Like with the way that I have my hair in this bun, and like I have these little parts pulled down here, and I like did my kind of clean my eyebrows up a little, and like skincare and all that kind of stuff, and like put on some necklaces. This is one that I wear all the time. This is one I've had for a long time, but I haven't like worn it out before. I've wanted to, and I decided to do that today. This is my shirt. It's a new shirt I got. It's a women's tank, but I mean, it's not like, it's just a regular, it's just a tank top. And it says like believe, and it has a sunflower. And then like, I just have like jeans. I don't know if you can see these or not, but just jeans, just regular jeans. Like nothing like crazy or, you know, what I felt was like too much or anything. But yeah, I went to the grocery store, the one that I have been going to for years, and I was nervous when I when I parked for some reason. I was like, why do I have so much anxiety? And I realized it was because I hadn't worn this out before. At least not in the middle of the day. I think I wore it out at one point, like late at night, when I just like went into a grocery store one night for ice cream right before they closed or something, and I didn't really see anyone, or I don't remember having any problems. But this was like the middle of the day on a Saturday in a busy grocery store, and so I was just feeling like nervous, and I was like it's okay, like like I was like reminding myself or telling myself like it's okay, like we're safe, like it's gonna be all right, like I got this, we got this. And so I went in, and I usually put my earbuds in and just listen to music while I shop. I was only in there for like 10 minutes. I just grabbed all the things on my list, and um, but as soon as I walked in, I just got like a weird vibe or a weird feeling, um, and um, I didn't really make eye contact with anyone while I was in there, which I usually do, but I didn't because I kept feeling really like very uncomfortable kind of like vibes from like all the people that I was like walking around or between or walking by or whatever. It was like very judgmental energy, and it like I'm trying to understand if it was just really in my head or if I was actually like, I don't know, picking up on what was going on. But um, yeah, it just didn't feel very comfortable. But I just continued to listen to music, like some peaceful music, and I was just picking out my groceries and moving slow, and that kind of thing, trying to like stay in my vibe, in my groove. Um, and then um, when I was checking out, the cashier was nice. She was like an older lady, and we didn't really say much, but she was just like, hi, how are you? Gave me a smile, and I gave it back, um, and while I was like waiting for her to finish ringing the stuff up, um, I just happened to like, I was just like kind of stretching or looking to the side or something, and in my peripheral, I saw like the people right behind me, or like it was like a young girl and what I thought was just an older girl, but then I found out later that it was just her mom. She was just short. Um, but I didn't like make eye contact or anything like that. But I just felt like they were like I was really being kind of grilled. Um, and I did see across to like another register at one point. My eyes happened to like cross paths with someone else real quick, who was just like staring at me like with like a not a good face, just like very obviously, and I was just like, ooh, okay, like I didn't react visually, but internally I was just like, okay, that like I don't know if that's really necessary. Um, and then I paid and said thanks, have a nice day and stuff, and I left, and I walked out to my car, to my truck, and I put the groceries away, and then I was returning the cart to the little cart area, and I had this is like, I guess you call it my purse. It's just a shoulder bag, and I just have this like Jessica Rabbit pin on it just for a little, like, expression, a little flare. And I just had it like around my shoulder as I was like putting the cart away. And as I was like pushing it to the cart return thing, I saw the people that were behind me. It was like a mother and her like daughter. They were walking past me the other way, and they were both staring at me. And I don't think I had my headphones in at this point, but I was just kind of like focused, and the sound of the cart was kind of loud. So I'm not 100% sure that this was said, but it sounded like it, and it sounded like the mom kind of like shouted or said really loudly, like, "You're a boy." And like she first said it, I didn't even really like register it. Like I did for like a second after. I was like, "Wait, did she just say what I think she said?" And I put the card away, and then as I was walking back to my car, I just happened to glance over, and they weren't looking at me. I think they were already in their car at that point. But I was like, did I really just hear what I think I heard? Like, and then I got in the car and just sat there for a minute, and I was like thinking, and I started to feel like kind of sad, and like insecure. And then I drove back here, um, but I was just kind of like thinking about it the whole way, and like still, I'm not 100% sure that that's what happened, but I think it is. And I know it could have been worse. I've had worse things happen to me out before. I've had people call me slurs, and usually in front of their children too. It's so weird. For wearing a lot like more chill, relaxed outfit than this, which I didn't even think was very like. I don't know if this makes it like overtly sexual or something. It's not. It's not meant to be. It's just kind of to add a little like softness, a little femininity. I don't know. So this, if that is what happened today, it could have been worse, but it's still just like it makes me sad. You know. Um, yeah. I have like a lot that I could say about it, and like, you know, with like media and political stuff and society and like social norms and you know patriarchy and all this kinds of stuff. But I'm not going to get into any of that. But because it ultimately all just boils down to like that. If that's what happened, like that person, that mother, she is lacking love in her life enough to where she feels that she needs to be overly defensive and even offensive to anyone who, I don't know, who could possibly be seen as being happier than her, you know? Like, I don't even blame her. I'm not even like upset with her individually. It's more just like a sadness, like a heartbreak and a grief over just like like what what society is like toward people who don't fit like the stereotypical molds um, that it that it wants, that it defines. Um, yeah, and it worries me a lot too, like because without going into the political stuff, I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with the news or with politics or with anything like that. I actively avoid all of it now because I just can't handle any of it, and I'm okay with admitting that. But I mean, I am aware that there are things in place and things in motion that seem to be maliciously targeting minorities, but also specifically gender nonconforming and like trans communities, and in very, very traumatic and even sinister ways. And it worries me that someday, possibly sooner than we may think or want to believe, that this exact situation is something that could land me or someone like me in prison for just existing like this. Because if that mother decided that this was, you know, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. And if you don't, then I don't know. If you care about me and people like me, then maybe you should try to learn about it just to be aware of it, because I think awareness is at least the first step in solving societal problems. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It definitely made me feel deflated, you know. And something weird happened too is when I got home and brought the groceries in. Like as soon as I walked in the bedroom door, this necklace fell off. Like it just fell off, and like it didn't break or anything. Um, and like when I got back in my truck after the grocery store, I had realized it was too loose, and the chain in the back was like in the front here, and I was like, shoot. And so I did adjust it to make it just a little tighter, and so maybe I didn't like hook it correctly, like enough for it to stay on while I drove home, but then it just like got jostled as I was like moving into the bringing the groceries in, and then it just fell off. And that makes sense logically, but just it was just weird, you know. If you know if you know me and my experiences with the timing of things, um, then you'll know that, you know, sometimes it can be hard to ignore little things like that. But um, yeah, so this is 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, like I need to like condense my thoughts and feelings more, I think, or like, I don't know. I feel like I take up way too much time, but I also feel like I take up space and stuff, so I know there's still a lot of, in moments like this, sure, reinforce those thoughts, you know, those feelings, but I'm getting there. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll wear this out again. I'd like to think that I would someday, but um, yeah, unfortunately, I think I might kind of ease up a little on my recent comfortability with expressing myself, at least in public. Which, like I said from the beginning, is heartbreaking. At least it is to me. So, um, But I'll be okay. Don't worry. Thanks for letting me be vulnerable and for listening to this and um, for caring about me and supporting me if you do. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Ooh, love you.